mean, that's not something like that. Already done that first.
All right, well, good morning. John Thurston, the new treasurer, and we'll call this meeting to order. And I think Fran is going to make some introductions.
So many of you already do know the treasurer from previous service that he's done, but for those who don't, he was elected to this office this past November of 24. And prior to this, he served as Secretary of State for 2 terms in 2019 and then again in 2022. And before that, he served 2 terms as Arkansas Land Commissioner. So he knows what he's doing, and we're very happy to have him. And he has some members of his staff are here. I don't know if you want to introduce yourselves.
Go ahead.
So I'm Amanda O'Neill. I'm General Counsel and Director of Public Relations.
Bill Huffman, Chief Deputy.
And if you all just brief, does everybody, do you know everybody?
I mean, I met everyone.
Okay,
but-
and then what about, Steve and Patricia? If you want to quickly introduce yourselves.
Yeah, Patricia, go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Patricia Ashanti, and I'm the founder and CEO of Delta Circles, located in Helena, Arkansas.
And I'm Steve Brown, CEO of Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union in Benton.
And then Campbell's joining us. Susanna Marshall is out. She's at a meeting, and one other member is not able to be here. I think she's at the same meeting, but we do have enough people to have the meeting, so.
All right.
You're stuck with me in her stead.
Now, you've been with us since day one.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for participating. And, know a lot. That's, depends on how you look at it. But it is an honor. I mean, I'm excited about this particular office. Not that the others weren't exciting to me, but this one interests me and excites me. My degrees in economics, and I know just enough probably to be a little dangerous in the world of finance. But this office has already been a whole lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to a few years ahead. And this particular board, I'm interested in. I look forward to hearing from everyone on what we're doing, what our thoughts are going forward, because our financial literacy in the state benefits all of us. And so I want everybody to think outside the box going forward. I know it's a cliche statement, but really do. I mean, I don't know of the limits that we have. And I want everybody to kind of think that way. Think no limits on what we can do. And then if we have to rein it back in, we will. Yeah, honored to be here. And now, approval of minutes. Everybody have the opportunity to look over the minutes, and if so, can I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, I have a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Item 4. Toss it to you,
All
Fran.
right. So just very briefly, since it's been a while since we met, and there were a couple of expirations of term service coming up. So in advance of this, we worked with Treasurer Thurston. I had talked with those of you who needed to be reappointed to see if you were interested. And he formally agreed. And so we do have, of the people who were not designated by virtue of, the statute. So obviously bank department, education department, but the rest of you graciously agreed, and you have been reappointed to serve on the Financial Education Commission, which I'm personally excited about because you all have been here since day one. And I feel like we're really on the cusp of, all that work is now getting ready to hopefully be fruitful. So So that's it. You just want me to go in? I'm
Okay,
actually
okay.
next on the report.
All right, item 5, report.
So I'm going to toss it to Abby here in just a second, but if you all will remember at the last meeting, we spent quite a bit of time going through what turned out to be kind of the 3 recommendations that came about as a result of the talking tour and all the cities that we went to. And then we brought the smaller working group back together and hammered out 3 very concrete ideas, one of which was the employer grant, which we as a committee agreed to kind of table that. We think it's a great idea, but there are other things that need to happen before we can get to that point. The other 2 issues were Saver Life, which is the savings incentive program, and that's what Abby's going to update you on, and then I'll update you all on the financial wellness platform that I showed a demonstration of at our last meeting. So Abby, do you want to just give an overview of where we are?
Happy to. So for context, a couple of updates that I have about Saver Life, and I'll start with, especially for those that are newer around the table, that Arkansas has the distinction of being 50th among the country in our savings rates of our residents. So this past weekend is a perfect example of how savings, emergency savings, are so desperately needed. And we know that that has a ripple effect on everything when people don't have some access to savings or increasing financial instability. And so as part of the listening tour, one of the ideas that came to the table that we all decided to raise our hands and approve was pursuing a partnership with SaverLife, which is a national fintech company. And I should add that this is by way of the Asset Funders Network, the Arkansas chapter of the Asset Funders Network, which is pursuing funding this savings campaign in the state of Arkansas. And so the commission raised its hand and said, we would love to be a spokesperson and partner and lend support to this. It has no financial implications on this group. The grant makers in the state of Arkansas would be funding this. So Saver Life is a fintech company. It would target low, moderate income people in the state of Arkansas, all electronically, to become members and sign up to have savings challenges and be part of a savings campaign over a 6-month period of time. One of the reasons we decided to go this route, by the way, was that Arkansas already randomly had like 4,200 members of Saver Life with no advertising whatsoever. So how the people in the state of Arkansas have come across this fintech company and app, we don't know, and geographically dispersed across the state. So we're really excited that our campaign will target adding 2,500 more individuals. Now more could sign up, but the target will be 2,500. And the update is the Asset Funders Network, the Arkansas Asset Funders Network, has applied for this grant that is currently being reviewed. We will know and I'm saying we because I wear multiple hats. We will know in May if it's approved. And if it is approved, I'll be able to report back to this group this summer and share how the campaign would roll out in the fall. And it would ideally give both the treasurer, the commission, the opportunity in whatever way we decide that we would want to lift this up, broadcast the opportunity through the campaign period. And the great part about this is when the technical campaign where the incentive challenges are, quote, over, which is what the grant funds, membership continues. So people will continue to get access to financial literacy, financial education, information, etc. So that's an update on Saver Life. At some point, you know, I would be happy if anybody, especially newer folks to the table, needed a demo or wanted to understand it a little bit more. We spent a lot of time, especially with the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, looking at the protections and the security. Saver Life doesn't touch anybody's money. It goes through Plaid, so people can decide whether or not their accounts are connected. And, so there's lots of security there. The other update I have is as a lead up to the anticipation of this campaign, which we're really excited about. The Federal Reserve Bank and are working closely with Machuska and Sam Evans over at the Little Rock branch is going to host 2 listening sessions about what's happening around financial stability for Arkansans. And I have, and I can send this to you, Fran.
She sent it.
Oh, you did? Okay. On April the 28th from 9 to 11 in Little Rock. And the next day, April 29th in Pine Bluff. And I actually think the one in April might be from 11 to 1 instead of that timing. But anyway, she would welcome anybody from this commission that wanted to go over to the Fed and be part of that listening session to join. If in fact anybody wants to. And they're going to use this information that they learn to just help refine the campaign that we would do through Saver Life. So it was a long-winded update.
Sounds good.
Any questions?
Unless it's changed, I actually have it from 9 to 11, but I'll,
I think it's wrong.
Oh,
They're going to update.
numbers.
Something about the Fed's office, and I don't know. So yeah, so it's on the 28th. Is the headline.
Okay.
So it's probably best to wait before we come up with any ideas on how to promote this, right? It's still premature for us to really.
I mean, yes, we should know in May. Fingers are crossed. So I'm hopeful. If you have ideas, I don't think it's too early to don't lose them. And but we can be more tactical once we know. But I think it's really exciting because I don't think we've had this. And the other side that I really didn't get into that's so exciting for me, little data geekish, is we will have this really rich data about what were the barriers for Arkansans. What are the challenges for them to save? And I would come back to this group and to you, Treasurer, to say, how do we break down some of those barriers? Like, what are the systems changes that Arkansas needs to make savings easier and to protect it? We ran predatory lenders out years and years ago, but how do we help build the financial stability in the state?
And one thing we did talk about, as I mentioned, those 3 ideas kind of came about as a result of this listening tour that the former treasurer did. And, we identified and have maintained communication with the people that we visited with in those cities. And so in terms of promoting it, we told them that once we had something to bring back, we were going to we want to come back and meet with you and ask for your help now in rolling these things out, because this is the culmination of why we came to visit. And so, if Saver Life happens and then the financial education platform happens, it gives us an opportunity later this year and probably into next year to go back to Desart, with you now and say, we heard you in, February of 24. So here are the things that were identified and here are some tools to help you. So it will lend itself, to some promotion in that way.
I should know this, but this commission, what's the budget? Is there
There we have one.
I didn't.
I don't think we have one.
But that's a good segue.
We have great thoughts, but no money. Okay.
Well, so we are established as a 501c3. So we do have the infrastructure set up so that if and when the time comes, and that actually leads us into the second thing. I don't want to stop. Did you have anything else to?
No, it's an add-on. Do you want me to add it now? I can, or I can wait. So one thing I was going to just say is, because I think it does tie into Saver Life, is the Arkansas Asset Funders Network is looking at November 5th of this year to partner with the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, and host a savings summit that would showcase a lot and have an emphasis on savings among kids and earlier in life, ideally, and showcase things like some child savings accounts initiatives that are sparking in our state that are really exciting. Economics Arkansas is at the cusp of a lot of those innovations with Marsha's leadership and Kathleen. Entergy, one of our major companies, has had a child savings account that they've been doing in their 4-state footprint. There's conversation, obviously, around savings tools like SaverLife. Lee Phillips, the CEO of SaverLife, would come in for this event. There's some other really innovative conversations around strategies, and this would be an opportunity to not promote one or alone, but to say there's so many ways that we could embrace a menu of options to promote savings. And so I just wanted to bring that up. We haven't landed just yet, but we're looking at November 5th for a savings summit.
What day of the week is that?
That's a Wednesday.
Okay.
So, again, I'm new, so I don't know what all is out there, but what other groups out there do something similar to what our goals are? You know what I mean?
In the state?
In the state, or not just savings, but just financial literacy, or, you know,
Economics Arkansas.
just
So we work a lot with the Fed as well to provide pre-K through high school. And there's an organization called Jumpstart, which is part of a national group that has a lot of resources. They actually have some funding because they got some funding designated from some class action settlement. So they might be good to include with some of this work. Work a lot with the Securities Department. Securities Department has a big emphasis towards investor education, not just for kids. You go all the way through adults.
Right. So as part of our statutory mission at the Securities Department, we have focused on investor education. And so we have an investor education section with a director and two support personnel. And we travel the state and put on seminars on financial literacy, saving, fraud avoidance, really whatever topic anyone needs, we can craft to meet those needs. And we also have a grant program where we give out $250,000 a year to schools and nonprofits for financial education grades 5 through 12. And we work closely with Economics Arkansas to build out school programs to start teaching children early. And we also fund, in partnership with the Walton Foundation, the stock market game through Economics Arkansas, and make that available to every school and student in the state free of charge who wants to participate in that game. So we've got our hands in a few different things around the state, but we're always looking to partner, whether inside this commission or with any organization that you all are a part of, to try to promote financial literacy in the state.
wow.
Steve's group does a lot too. Steve, you want to talk about your reality?
Yeah, reality fairs. Credit union industry in Arkansas is pretty aggressive in working with individual school districts to host reality fairs. And what that does, it's basically a game that you bring in a big group of students, and they're challenged with building a budget. There's 12 or 13 different stations they have to go to, and they have to make individual decisions on where they want to live, what kind of car you want to drive, what kind of entertainment package you're going to have, you got to buy insurance, you've got to do this, your utilities, your cable, all of that stuff. And then at the end of the day, they have to build that budget based on whatever job they were assigned at the beginning of the game. So they know how much money they have coming in according to that job, and then they've got to manage towards that goal based on the decisions that they made. And then there's counselors working with them, discussing what's important, what's not, why did you choose this versus why did you choose that. It's really an eye-opening experience for a lot of kids that, they don't get that at home. They don't see their parents building a budget. They don't do a lot of things, and it's been very effective in a lot of school districts.
I've seen some of these efforts firsthand at my own home with my daughter. I was telling Marcia the other day, my daughter's in 5th grade at Simon Middle School in Conway, and her team was 3rd place for a while on the stock market game. And as we're watching commercials, she'll say,
Yeah.
well, do they have a parent company? And so, yeah, she's like, are they public? Yes, they're publicly traded. And then, we go online and see how they're doing. It provides a learning opportunity for me from time to time too.
Sure, me too. And I think another group is the Cooperative Extension Service. They have an agent in every county, and they deliver not only financial literacy, but a lot of different programs. So we try to partner with all of them. We're working with, I don't even know if you know this, we're working with the Security Department to host an event for K-12 educators June 9th at your place.
We're coming over.
So any and all of you, would be welcome to join us if you're interested in that. I think it'll be good. June 9th.
They know they're welcome anytime. So.
Well, and one of the goals for the AFEC website, and if you were to go on there right now, you would see kind of there's a resources page that are direct links to organizations that this group kind of vetted and said, yes, let's have that available on our site. So once we have some of these initiatives that will push people to the AFEC website, right now, if you find it, you accidentally probably found it. But once we have these initiatives to really promote, obviously that's where we would direct people. And obviously that's where we would, make sure the resources list is updated, because that was one of the things when the commission was formed. It wasn't to necessarily reinvent any wheel. It was to kind of curate and bring together kind of a one-stop shop for people without the bells and whistles of feeling like they're going to be sold something or asked to, join a certain, like a membership or something.
I didn't mention it, but I should. When I said predatory lenders, Arkansas did pass a law, and one day I need to look up the actual date, because I always say about 10 years ago. Now it's probably 15, where we ran predatory lenders out of the state. But what happened was then there was a gap in people having access to mainstream financial services. There was a reason those predatory lenders were staying in business. People were using them. And so over the past 6 years, Bank on Arkansas has built and has now 26 banks in the state that are operating in the state of Arkansas, a lot of which are based here in the state of Arkansas, but some national, like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and others, who have special bank on accounts that are no fee, low fee, and meet like good housekeeping seal of approval criteria nationally to have this certified account that targets low, moderate income families that need a starter account that helps get them back into banking, because they're not, it's the on-ramp to everything, whether you're trying to start a business, buy a home, etc. And so Arkansas has been leading the way with our number of financial institutions that are part of Bank On. And Bank On is a special project of that Arkansas Asset Funders Network that I talked about.
And it's a nice companion, so that's why Saver Life, Bank On addressed the need to open up an account and have, checking and all that. And now Saver Life addresses this other need of finding a way to encourage people to save.
Well, thank y'all for allowing.
Yeah.
No, that's why I asked, because I am.
That's awesome.
Thank you for letting this be a teaching moment for me. One last question. So it's a 501c3. Do we have fundraising capability? Are we mandated to do that?
We are. So as a matter of fact, what my presentation was going to be was an update on this educational platform that the group approved, kind of going the next step and getting some numbers. And I had announced that we had a potential funder at the last meeting, and I've since had a conversation with them, and he's given me permission, to say who they are. So that opens up the door now if we get this grant, so Steve is our treasurer of the Financial Education Commission, so it would be his responsibility to open up an account.
I think yes.
You're welcome. All right, well, thank you. I was just.
Yeah, no.
Learn the ropes a little bit.
That's perfect. In fact, I'll go ahead. So thank you for the Saver Life information. So at the last meeting, I demonstrated it's called Enrich, was the financial education platform. And if you recall, we were actually contacted by somebody who expressed interest in helping us. And I mean, the timing was perfect because we were just getting ready to kind of put the bones or put the meat on the bones of our plans. But it's Walmart. And Michael Lindsay reached out and has formally invited us to apply for a grant that I will need a motion when we're done. I'll need a motion for the committee to approve proceeding with applying for it. But I had a conversation with the developers of Enrich to get an idea of what they would charge us for developing. And just so you have a little bit of background, and I'll be happy to show you all, I have like a demonstration. I can show you how it works, but it's a very user-friendly website, or, it can be on your phone that you go to, and it, after asking you a series of questions, it kind of generates modules based on what's going on in your life. So if I've indicated, yes, I'm simultaneously taking care of kids and, my mother's moved in with us. I mean, all these different financial scenarios, and then you have access to over 3,000 modules, but it tries to tailor it to what your specific needs are. So the state of Arkansas participated in a pilot program, and this was brought to us through NAST and Wells Fargo. It was a Wells Fargo grant that NAST got. And Arkansas was one of like maybe 8 or 10 states around the country that tested this out. And unfortunately, at the time, we didn't have a vehicle to really push it. But because we participated, because a lot of the other states have built in like employee retirement, state employee retirement plans, and they have access to emails that they could use to push it out. But because we participated in the pilot, they have waived any additional cost to develop, because we've in essence already, the work's been done. It just needs to be updated with current information. We need to remove, the references to NAST, because it would be an AFEC website now. So they would waive the $5,000, set up an implementation because of our relationship in the past. And the annual licensing fee would be $10,000 a year. And that would be for year 1. Now, year 2, it would go up to 14. And this is all based on a projection of securing 500 to 750 people for the first year. And we arrived at that after some various conversations. When you look at, well, who's our audience? Well, it's the entire state, so 500 to 750 was a comfort number as well for Walmart. He said if we were to get 500 people that first year, that would be great. So Walmart is anticipating that we apply for a grant where we ask for $15,000 that he would guarantee for the first. So we get 15 year 1, and then 15, if not more, year 2. He would want to see, and I haven't, he sent me the email last week with the link that opens it up for us to start applying. But like I said, I needed to get your approval first. And one thing he wants us to be sure and do is to demonstrate, he's like, okay, if we give you the money to get this site built, how are you promoting it? And that's where it brings in, I think this would give this commission, those of you who can help us raise funds, it gives us a reason to start looking for funding to help support the marketing and promotion of this platform, because we have to demonstrate that in the grant, that here's what we plan to do. So what I'd like to also do is ask for any interest in helping. I think we need to form kind of a small marketing task group just to start to brainstorm some ideas of ways that we could promote this and assign, try to get an idea of a dollar figure that we'd be looking at to raise money for this. So if I could get any volunteers to help me with that marketing task force, that would be great.
Can I
I'll
ask a
do that.
question?
Steve, you'll be on it?
Yeah, some of you may not. I ran a sales division at Axiom for 15 years, so marketing is a big part of my background. So I'll be happy to participate in that.
Right.
I think he's the chair.
It's the talent there.
Go chairs, treasurer and chair.
Hey,
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Did Michael, are we only allowed to apply for 15?
He is guaranteeing that.
Where is the grant? Have you seen? Did we already get, where's the grant application?
So it is, they apparently have a by invitation only. So he had to invite me or invite AFEC to apply. So I have received the link last week, but I have not, and I told him that we were having this meeting today and that I would need to get approval from the committee. So I haven't even opened it because I wanted to wait until I had approval.
I guess we could apply, and then if there's anything in there
And he was
particularly care for, then.
he was very open to seeing. He expressed interest in getting involved. In fact, I mentioned, that this isn't like a one and done thing. I mean, this is something we really want to grow, and he implied that this is obviously something that Walmart's very interested in, and they're not even asking. I explained to him about the AFEC website, and I said, we don't want it to become a logo heavy. And he said, I wouldn't expect Walmart to be. Now he said, I'd like recognition, like maybe on the treasurer's page, that we're supporting AFEC. But he said, I'm not going to ask for ads or anything, So, but he was very open to seeing what happens in the future with this commission.
We received a grant from them to support financial literacy kits that we have been sending to high schools for teachers to use. And they've also been a good supporter at the national level. So we're part of a national association to support financial literacy. So I think it's become a huge focus for them.
Mm-hmm.
They're a member of the Asset Funders Network at the national level and the Arkansas philanthropic table as well. I'm happy to volunteer.
Okay.
And I'm happy to make a motion that we apply for the grant.
Have a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second to apply for the Walmart grant. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right. Motion carries.
Great, thank you.
Did you also want to do the administrative?
Oh, yes, and we need a motion to approve the opening of an administrative account so that
To receive the.
to receive the funds.
Do there have to be two signers, Steve?
we can structure it however the committee sees fit. I mean, if it ultimately is determined by how secure we want to make the account or how tight we want to make the account. But generally speaking, yeah, there's at least a couple of signers.
We do two signers on the 529 enable administrative accounts.
What does the committee think? 2 signers?
It's generally best for auditing purposes to have 2 signers.
So we're making a motion to open the account first. I'll make the motion to open the account.
Okay, have a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. The signature part, we need to,
So Steve, one picture we have, it has to be,
So maybe for our next meeting, I don't anticipate Walmart, this will be a fairly long process, I think. So I think we'll be having another meeting before we would be receiving the permits. So maybe at the next meeting, Steve, if you could prepare, how we're going to structure this and what the rules would be.
I can do that.
yeah,
Okay.
makes sense. All right.
I would just kind of jump in and say, we firmly support everything that's going on, but, as regulators or administrators of financial regulators that oversee a lot of financial firms, we aren't allowed to participate in
And we have that.
fundraising.
we-
Yeah. So
That's in the statute. I think
Right.
you all are even
we
pulled
clean
out.
that up.
Yeah.
So we'll support in every way that we can, but probably can't sit on a committee to assist with marketing. and
Absolutely.
fundraising.
Absolutely.
Legislative update?
bet there's a lot of those.
Well,
We'll get to that.
the main one that I was going to address, if you haven't seen it, is Senator Irvin's bill. She was the one she and Cozart co-sponsored the legislation that formed the Financial Education Commission. And so a few things happened to necessitate having to update the legislation. One being, at the time, we were a 9-person committee. But then when banking and securities merged, 2 of those positions now became 1. So we had a vote, and the committee agreed to go to 8. And I'll address that in just a second. And the other thing, in the original legislation, it specifically said that the commission would meet a minimum of 2 years, 2 times a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. And we have no idea. We all were there as part of the writing, but it was erroneous to specifically say spring and fall. So we wanted that to be struck. So Senator Irvin agreed to run the bill, and in the process of doing so, added to the legislation to have it go back to being 9 people, and to add a designee from the Secretary of State's office to the commission. So that is currently what's being run. I don't see any downside, especially given the programs that they have and the history of the new administration with the SOS. So, and then the other part of the bill, in addition to addressing the merging and adding Secretary of State, is also, which is part of a bigger bill that's affecting all commissions, is removing any kind of requirements concerning race or gender. So that's built into this as well. So as of this morning, it did pass the Senate Education Commission committee meeting a few weeks ago, and today she's presenting it. In fact, probably right at 10 o'clock this morning, the House Education Committee. So if it passes there, then it will, go to the full legislature. So any questions about that, Bill?
We could just talk them into giving us a little funding.
Yeah, is it too late?
Maybe next time.
Yeah, that would be. I think we have to have some kind of demonstration of what we're doing
Yeah.
too, so. Okay. Any,
For item 5, I guess. Okay, any new business?
so we do need to arrange, and this is always so fun, trying to get everybody's schedules, but we do need to arrange a new group photo. And, you know, especially recognizing, Patricia, that you are the one that has to travel the farthest for this to happen. I did want to say, though, it doesn't necessarily have to dovetail with a meeting. I know the last time we did it, we had the group photo on the steps of the Capitol, and then we went into a meeting. But I think for the sake of trying to get this done as soon as possible, because we definitely want to update the website with the new group, as well as some handout materials that we use. So not to put you on the spot, Patricia, but I thought if there were in the next few weeks or, you know, sometime in the next month, you were planning on already being in Little Rock, you know, just to start with a couple of those dates that then I could push out to the whole committee and make sure, like Susanna was going to be in town and that Secretary Oliva was going to be in town, you know, for the group photo. So, and again, it could just be a quick thing, but I'd want it to piggyback maybe on another reason that you'd be coming to Little Rock.
Well, that's very nice of you. And I am flexible. I'll be there whenever you need me to be there. And I'll look at my calendar and see some dates, but I'm flexible. I can be there, whenever works best for the group.
Can we?
But
can we-
I'll send you a couple of dates too.
Okay, wonderful.
Can we wait until the new position or new member?
Secretary.
Yeah, that's a good
Secretary?
idea.
No.
Oh, yes, yes.
But that should be soon, right?
Well,
If that bill passes, it would, I don't think it had an emergency
Oh.
clause
we
in it.
don't have an
Yeah,
emergency.
That would be.
Yeah, it'd be 2 years.
But surely the Office of Secretary of State would reach out and say, hey, here's who we have in mind, and we could try to get a photo.
So it'd be 2
With
years.
Well,
Yeah.
It would go into effect August 1st.
Yeah.
So I think you could elect somebody then.
Yeah.
Or around August.
I mean,
1st.
I'll leave it up to the committee. I just feel a little awkward still having, you know, the group. Now, we have individual bios, we feature you, but the one pager that we use when we are in a position where we can kind of cross promote the Financial Education Commission still features the picture with Larry. We could try to Photoshop you.
My face.
So I'll leave that up to you all to decide. I see
Yeah.
I see the benefit of waiting, but also, well,
I'm fine either way.
We can just kind of play it by ear, knowing that everybody's flexible and
yeah,
revisit.
Why
that.
don't we proactively hold a time for one of our fall meetings
mhm,
for the picture?
okay,
And we could always cancel it. But if we go ahead and hold it,
for the fall, yeah.
like we did last time where we built
Mhm.
it in.
15 minutes before.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because by then, he or she, the designee would be,
Sorry.
Have we said it on?
As the scheduler.
Yeah.
It's a hot mess.
okay.
Sounds good.
So, I'm trying to think what realistically makes the most sense for the next meeting. I mean, it may be later in the summer, because we would need time to figure out the grant. I'd be working with the marketing group, and I'll reach out to Susanna and Secretary, well, probably kind of busy, But especially Catherine, who wasn't able to be here today, she might want to be on that too. So, but we'll get the marketing committee together.
What
And
do you
then
need for the application for Walmart?
I need to, now that I've gotten approval, I'm literally gonna log in and look at it today. So I was just so careful. I didn't want to.
Don't click the link.
Does the board want to see that whenever you pull it up? I mean, y'all would like to see a copy of it?
I'm happy to edit or.
Yeah, I definitely will need people on the committee to, whether it's part of the same marketing team, but yeah, it doesn't need to be me. I mean, I'll coordinate it, but it needs to be the voice of the commission.
Also, it might happen faster than, not to predict, but that should be staff level approval. That doesn't have to go to their board, that amount of money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he indicated that he said it would probably even take longer to get set up in their system, like to have, but then to wait for an approval. So, 'cause I think, like you said, he's in essence approved it.
I think so.
I wonder if part of the application is gonna ask, if approved, where do you want the money sent, which
Yeah,
at that
sure.
point, we give with Steve and.
Yeah.
Maybe ask.
Yeah,
about that
I'll be,
process.
if you all would like, if it's something that I can't, I mean, assuming it's not all electronic, I mean, if there's a way for me to upload something so that you all can see what's being asked, I'll share it with the committee.
Yeah. In the applications that I've submitted to Walton, you really could just have a Word document where you take those questions that's in the application, put it in the Word, and sort of create everything you're going to create before you put it back into the electronic application. And that
Okay.
could give you a document to share with others if you like,
So
sort of a draft.
I'm thinking Patricia and Abby, since you all have experience with Walmart grants, that we could maybe do an ad hoc, like a little group. I mean, I'll kind of get some stuff organized and then you all would be advisors on this.
you can go in,
Sure.
pull the questions into Word, make
Okay.
sure you're in Word limits, and then transfer it back. And
Okay.
usually at the very end, there's a print, so it'll spit out what you did for
And
record
save it.
keeping.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm gonna have to drop. I've got NCUA examiners here today.
Yeah.
So Good to meet everyone.
No,
Good to see
we're
everyone.
about done.
Bye,
Thank you,
Bye.
Steve.
And just jumping ahead of step, I think if we get approved and the money needs to be sent somewhere, that Steve could open an account as treasurer, and then the board or the commission could decide later who the signers are going to be. But he, could functionally open an account so that we have a place to put the money.
I figure with this group, we figured out.
And I'm sure we're still quite a ways away from having it right the first day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just some account to hold it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Patricia, we'll get back to you and we'll get back to everybody on what we decide on the group photo. And if it makes sense just to wait until a fall meeting to do that, we can do that so that we have the Secretary of State's office.
Sounds good. Anything else? Well, thank you all for making the trip here and look forward to seeing you soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Same here.
All right. Nothing else?
Patricia.
Nothing else?
Okay, you all have a great evening, great
Okay.
day. Okay.
All right.
Bye,
Thank you all.
Patricia.
All right.
Adjourned.